Hollywood Actor Podcast with Sarah Minnich, Part 3.
Well, on a weekly basis, Sarah, now that you've been working on these different projects in New Mexico, building momentum, we've been talking a little bit about you're taking classes with Bob Jesser, therapy. Are there anything else that you try to do on a weekly basis to help you plug in to the industry in New Mexico, Hollywood, or to just stay sane?
I don't want to sound sexist, but I try to connect with local women on a regular basis. And by women, I mean local actor women. So I have a few friends that are also in acting, and I try to connect with them and develop friendships with like-minded individuals. And in that way, I think that I'm able to sort of co-experience the ups and downs of this industry. I recently was asked by one of the SAG officers, the local chapter officers, to run for a position on our local board. And I said, not yet, maybe in a few years, but I don't want to represent other people until I'm 100% sure that I have mastered myself. And I'm not saying that that's an achievable thing, but I do think that you come to a certain point in your growth, in your journey, where you're ready to be completely objective in situations where you're working for the good of many. And I'm not somebody that wants to be a SAG leader, because I think that there's so much more to that than meets the eye. It's not about just power. It's about including so many different voices. And I just want to make sure I'm ready. And so I think at some point I may attempt to get into the local chapter here. I was a member of Women in Film here for a while. And I have not been the past year because of, just busyness. And then in terms of staying sane, because God help actors, that is a real struggle, staying sane in this career path. But what I tell people is you have to have something else. And sometimes I'll just say, do something else. And people are like, so you want me to give up acting? No. I want you to have acting, and then I want you to do something else too.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I do a couple things. For one, I work in a plant nursery, and that helps me to stay in touch with Earth constantly, which is very important for me.
Literally grounding yourself.
Literally, I'm working with soil and getting dirt under my fingernails and spines in my hands on a regular basis. And
That's
need
so
that.
Cool. Yeah.
Thanks, man. That's one of my favorite things. I work in a cactus and succulent nursery, and that's very good for me. It's very good for my psyche. And it's helpful, and it's a good thing, And then secondarily, I teach at the community college at CNM. I teach public speaking, interpersonal communication, and the possibility next semester of interviewing. Oh, also introduction to communication this semester. So I'm a teacher, I'm a gardener, and I'm an actor. And now I'm a wife as of this summer. So,
I didn't know it was that recent.
Mommy. Yeah, I got married in June.
Oh man, congratulations!
Thank you. We haven't killed each other yet. We're just loving it.
And you guys bounce back and forth between Albuquerque and Los Angeles, right? Or does Giannis spend more time in either one?
Giannis works out in New Mexico strictly. He travels sometimes with productions that are in New Mexico. Like, for instance, he's on a TV show. No, not a TV show. He's on a feature film called Half Brothers right now. And he's about to leave with Half Brothers to go to St. Louis. And so when he travels, it's with a production that he started here.
Okay.
He is a second assistant camera. So, which I think is a really cool because I love hearing the crew perspective on actors, because it really helps me to not be an asshole on set. not that asshole comes naturally to me, but, well, some people would argue it does, considering the roles I've done. But I'm saying, it's easy to make a very inconsiderate mistake accidentally on set that you don't know is hurtful or inconsiderate to other people that you're working with, your peers and your colleagues. And so Giannis has come home to me and told me horror stories about actors on sets that he's worked on. And I just suck that in because now I know never to do that. And I'm like, this is great. I'm learning so much about the whole set. Like, actors are a small part of a film set. Yes, I know we're the face. Yes, I know we're the voice. But there are so many working, moving parts on a film set. And it takes so many minds to get it to a place where they're even ready to let the actor do their work.
Yeah.
And as actors, we're so focused on our character and what we're producing, what we're creating. Sometimes we don't think about the effect that we have on those hundreds of other people we're working with. And so I really am glad that my husband has given me an incredible insight into some of the communication and the logistics and the norms that actors typically don't see.
Yeah. And you can't work on all those sets and make all those mistakes yourself. So it's a good thing you're finding like a very good way in to that whole world, rather than even anecdotal evidence or, reading a big article that comes up on Variety. You have that mole, that that source, right, that heartbeat right there. That's very exciting.
I try to give him, thanks. I try to give him insight into the actor's mind, and it just turns into a really hilarious debate. So, we don't typically talk about that, but I like to absorb his various ventings at the end of the day. So I feel very lucky in that way.
Yeah. And you have a manager here in LA. Do you get to bounce over here a little bit yourself?
Yeah. I've started... getting into LA and getting good with the casting directors in LA is a long process. And it's a
million
long
of them.
Process. Yeah. And there's not only that they're numerous, but I don't like to say going up against or competing with, because I think that puts a sort of negative spin on it. You are working with, you are colleaguing. I don't know the word, Jamie, but there's so many actors out there that it's nearly impossible that you'll go in for every audition you're right for, because there's 20,000 blonde-haired, blue-eyed, 5'7", 130-pound actors, and then there's, of those 20,000, 10,000 of them are good enough to get, and I don't mean good like they're not good as a human, I mean are talented enough to get into the room. And then of those 10,000, 5,000 of those have the representation needed to even get in front of the casting director's eyes. And then 2,500 of those. So the numbers are exponential.
Dwindles down really fast. And they can only see 8 people in one day for a co-star role.
Exactly. So, there are so many casting directors, and there's only so many times I'll get to put my face in front of them. And so it could take 10 years for them to even be like, oh yeah, that's Sarah Minnich. Unless I get something really good out here. And then all of a sudden I'm fast-tracked into that group, which is my plan.
Yeah, and it sounds like you've been getting a lot of notoriety. I knew of you way before I'd ever met you.
Really?
You're a big standout in New Mexico, yes, as a local talent.
Oh,
and
thanks.
You've been gaining so much momentum in the past, increasingly in these last couple of years. So it sounds really exciting for you. And I thank you so much for being able to talk with us at length about your experiences from, being so vulnerable in those first years in Los Angeles and Malibu, and then making that big move to New Mexico on faith alone. I think that there's a lot of lessons there for people within the professional world of acting, and for people just trying to find themselves in this crazy mixed up world of ours.
Thanks for listening to the Hollywood Actor Podcast. If you like this content, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.